A podcast enthusiast. I use it for, I listen a lot, and I think this is a pretty good development for everybody. Like, the more the better, though. What does Kamala have to do to try to change the race? She's going to come on Fox tomorrow night with Bret Baier. So, Judge, what do you think?
Well, first of all, I love the idea of her going on Joe Rogan because, I mean, aren't his podcasts like a couple of hours, 2-3 hours? I mean, what makes anyone think she could get through 2 to 3 hours without repeating herself over and over again? But I think it's almost a recognition that they realize that everything is trending against them. They've got nothing to lose at this point. Remember, Joe Rogan, Trump talked about going on Rogan first, and I think this is Kamala kind of following up. But Joe Rogan he's got a big male audience, so that's a smart move. And also, he's a big-time supporter of RFK, who's into health and into, all of these issues about, whether it's vaccine, but it's also the FDA and all that. And I think that in the end, it's smart if she can do it. If she can't do it, I mean, it can it can finish her. It's very different from The View. The View, everybody goes, oh, you're wonderful, you're wonderful. Joe Rogan is totally different.
Yeah. And also on The View, you have a studio audience cheering you on, and that's not the case when you're one-on-one by yourself. Harold, what do you think?
So I agree with the judge. This is going to be a great test. I think we have rightly so, as I said in our earlier segment, been critical of some of the things she has not done. The fact that she's doing this, I think, is a great thing for the race and a great thing for those who listen. I don't listen to a lot of these podcasts. I'm going to have to listen to one or two of these to get a chance to hear what she's saying. But in the 90 minutes she got up on stage, I think she beat President Trump in that debate. So maybe 30 minutes longer, she may not do as well. We'll see. President Trump, his game, listening to him, and I like him personally. I listen to him, though, and the name calling's got to stop. Like, I think one of the things, if I were in his campaign, I can't imagine that the Haley supporters in some of these key critical states find that appealing. You're trying to appeal to such a small group of voters at this moment, including Vice President Harris, as she thinks about this. You got to think about long and hard. What are you saying to convince that group to come to you at the very end here in these 6 or 7 states? I'm not sure that the name calling, I think Jimmy Kimmel is not a loser, but calling Jimmy Kimmel a loser is that the right thing? Finally, there was one last thing in the, what'd you call it, the ECOC? The Economic Club of Chicago. President Trump was asked by I think it was the Bloomberg editor-in-chief. President Trump had talked about how world leaders respect him. He talked about Prime Minister Netanyahu, President Orban, and President Zelensky. And then the guy asked him, well, have you spoken with President Putin since you left office? And he said, I'm not going to answer that question. I keep some things private. He said, well, you just talked about the things you talked about with the other people, these other leaders. So I think as President Trump thinks about these things, and he thinks about these last 3 weeks, I'm just trying to give balls and strikes, call them, and give advice. I think long and hard about how you present that here in the last few weeks.
Greg, I think we're going to talk a little bit about this issue in the next block, but I think if President Trump were to go on Riley Gaines's podcast to talk about protecting women's sports, that could get a lot of news.
Yeah, and it's the one area that Kamala has skated by, which is what is a woman. Mm-hmm. I can't wait to hear somebody, Bret Baier, ask her, what is a woman? Because she promoted the sex change of a double murderer, a guy who murdered a couple get a sex change, and he got it. And the California taxpayers are paying for it. You know what Rogan is to Kamala Harris? He's the next door neighbor who supports Trump, but he has a swimming pool you really want to use. And boy, it's hot out, and she needs that swimming pool because she's drowning. That's a mixed metaphor. It doesn't really work. This is the first time, though, that she's getting outside of her padded cell. And she's like one of those patients that live in a plastic bubble. Remember The Boy in the Plastic Bubble with John Travolta? Classic film. She lacks the immune system. She lacks the immune system to go outside, to survive in reality. Meanwhile, Trump, he can sit with Rogan for 4 hours because his whole life has been nothing but casual and intense interactions, which has built up his immune system. Her media coddling has afforded her no immune system, and that's why you see her repeating things a lot. She just hasn't been pushed. She doesn't push herself. If you're still a dude and you say you're thinking about voting for Kamala, we know what you're saying. You're either voting for Trump or you're not voting. Because a dude isn't going to get up and go out of his way alone to go vote for that. He's going to have to be dragged by his wife or his girlfriend, like she's taking him to the Lilith Fair, because no guy goes to the Lilith Fair on their own. No guy goes to a craft shop on their own.
Harold. Is that true?
So
I'll tell you this. Well,
dudes cannot vote for. They can't vote for Kamala and feel like a dude because she's so. And Harold, you know this. We talked about this in the green room. You're only doing this, for.
I have a bunch of guy friends who
No, you don't.
are Republicans who have daughters and sons who are of age voting. And they've shared with me that they were Republican, that voted for President Trump in 16. Some didn't vote for him in 20. And they said they can't do that because they can't tell their kids something that they can't lie to their kids. So they're going to vote for Kamala Harris. I'm just saying, I've heard
You
this
have
as well.
Republican friends that are voting for Kamala?
Why?
You do not.
That makes
That's the
no
biggest
sense.
lie you've ever told.
What would make me lie about
No
that?
sense.
I want to meet him.
What would make me
I want
lie
to meet
about
him.
that?
Bring
get
him
him
in
on the phone.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Get him on the
Give me the
phone.
number.
We'll call him
I
after
don't
the
believe
show.
that.
We'll call him after
I
the
just
show.
wanted to mention one thing, Jesse. So on some of these policy podcasts, or some of the podcasts have gotten deep into policy, like on Theo Vaughn's podcast, Trump was talking about healthcare transparency, but then I can't remember the name of the guys. He was on with some comedians, and he told the story about how he got mad at Don Jr. for bringing home too many kids for a party. And
Yeah,
just like,
that's Andrew Schultz's
Oh, okay.
podcast.
It was one of those things where if you can pull it off, they can work well for you.
Usually the best podcast guests are an expert in a field. They can go deep. A comedian who can just be entertaining the whole time, or a great storyteller. Kamala Harris is none of those things. And Rogan is not a conservative. He's more of an independent. And so he's not going to go out and throttle her. But what he will do is he will ask basic follow-up questions like, well, what did you mean by that?
Right.
Yeah.
Or, well, tell me how that's going to work.
And also because he's got time, he doesn't have to jump ahead and
That's
move forward.
that's the thing. Time. They're going to limit the time to under an hour because they're scared of the follow-up question, right?
Yeah. Ahead. We just got brand new sound from Kamala's interview with Charlemagne the God. Stay tuned for that.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.